As much as I'm Irish, that's the one thing that kind of annoys me. Ala Bouizir, an Irish-born activist with Libyan roots, is the textbook case of what can go wrong in cultural integration, activism, and the potential for borderline fanaticism in advocating for specific community interests. Bouizir's public statement criticizing aspects of Irish humor for not aligning with Islamic values is all about disrespecting cultural diversity and imposing one community's values on another. Bouizir's professional and academic focus is exclusively centered on the Muslim experience, particularly in the context of Western society. Her research investigates the quote-unquote othering of Muslim women in the West and seeks to develop interventions to combat Islamophobia, specifically against Muslim women. This focus suggests a steadfast orientation towards the interests and perspectives of the Muslim community.
Welcome to TFI Global, the antidote to mass delusion.
The atmosphere of Ireland is pervaded with a tangible sense of history, evidenced in its verdant landscapes marked by historical conflicts, maritime disasters in the Atlantic, and the oral traditions perpetuated in cozy firelit taverns. The Irish populace is shaped by a history of adversity and resistance. Their demeanor often reflects a certain melancholy, possibly a vestige of historical invasions and oppressions, such as the Viking incursions and Cromwellian conquest. However, juxtaposed with this somberness is a vibrant resilience nurtured by communal gatherings around peat fires and the shared enjoyment of Guinness. Ireland is a land where the linear concept of time seems to dissolve. Ancient stones and structures seem to communicate with the elements, while contemporary joy intermingles with the echoes of historical bards. To immerse oneself in Irish culture is to engage with a living history, a tapestry of stories and songs that resonate with a profound sense of belonging and connection. And Irish humor, much like a perfectly poured pint of Guinness, is a rich and layered affair. It simmers with self-deprecating wit, bubbles with playful mockery, and overflows with a touch of the absurd. It's born from a history seasoned with hardship. Laughter became a shield against misfortune and a bridge between disparate cultures. It is difficult to fathom a disdain for Ireland, its rich cultural heritage, its unique brand of humor, and its warm, resilient people. Such an aversion suggests that the one who hates Ireland has lived under a rock for all of his or her life. To reject such a multifaceted culture outright indicates a narrow perspective or a callous misapprehension of the complexities and charms that define the Irish identity and spirit. Meet Ala Bouizir, a Muslim activist and public figure who disagrees with whatever I told about Ireland. She recently expressed in public television her discomfort with certain aspects of Irish humor, suggesting that these sentiments are offensive and calling for a change within the Irish community. She said, "A person looks at you and then they'll give you some stereotype joke, and you will say, it's not a joke, it's something serious, but you shouldn't be saying. But then you'll get, we're Irish. We need to make a laugh out of something that needs to change within the Irish community. As much as I'm Irish, that's the one thing that kind of annoys me." Ala Bouizir, an Irish-born activist with Libyan roots, is the textbook case of what can go wrong in cultural integration, activism, and the potential for borderline fanaticism in advocating for specific community interests. Bouizir's public statement criticizing aspects of Irish humor for not aligning with Islamic values is all about disrespecting cultural diversity and imposing one community's values on another. Bouizir's professional and academic focus is exclusively centered on the Muslim experience, particularly in the context of Western society. Her research investigates the quote-unquote othering of Muslim women in the West and seeks to develop interventions to combat Islamophobia, specifically against Muslim women. This focus suggests a steadfast orientation towards the interests and perspectives of the Muslim community. Furthermore, Bouizir's involvement with GOM Media and the Amal Women's Association further cements her focus on Muslim issues. GOM Media's objective is to unify across differences and advance belonging for marginalized communities. quite a mouthful to just say Muslims. The Amal Women's Association, being a Muslim woman-led organization, provides service connected to the Muslim community nationwide. Boyce's criticism of Irish humor is as an extension of her advocacy work. However, it also raises questions about the balance between advocating for a particular community's sensibilities and respecting the cultural norms of the broader society. In Ireland, humor has historically been a multi-layered and complex aspect of the culture, often serving as a coping mechanism through centuries of hardship and oppression. The expectation that a host culture should significantly alter its norms to accommodate the preference of a specific community can be contentious, just as it would be unreasonable for an Indian in China to expect Chinese culture to adapt to Indian preferences. There is a debate to be had about the extent to which Irish culture should change to align with Islamic values. Advocacy for cultural sensitivity is important, but it must be balanced with respect for the existing cultural fabric of the society. Ala Boyce's critique of Irish humor touches on a sensitive area of cultural integration. It raises important questions about how minority communities advocate for change while disrespecting the cultural heritage of their host society. Over the past 50 years, Ireland has experienced a substantial shift in its demographic landscape. In 1971, the population of Ireland stood at approximately 2.9 million. As of recent data, it has surged to over 6 million, indicating a significant increase of about 75%. This remarkable growth in population is primarily attributed to immigration, with a diverse array of cultural backgrounds contributing to this change. Among the immigrant population, a notable number are Muslims. The 2022 census provides insightful data regarding the Muslim demographic in the Republic of Ireland. It reveals that there are 83,300 Muslims residing in the country, which constitutes 1.62% of the total population. This figure represents a considerable increase compared to previous years. In 2011, the Muslim population was recorded at 49,204, and even more striking is the growth from 1991, where only 3,875 Muslims were counted. This trend highlights the rapid expansion of the Muslim community in Ireland over the last few decades, largely driven by immigration. The composition of the Muslim population in Ireland is diverse. The largest group within this community is comprised of Muslims born in Ireland. They are followed by Pakistani nationals and then by individuals from the United Kingdom. In terms of ethnic background, the majority of Muslims in Ireland identify as either Asian or African. However, there is also a significant segment of the Muslim population that identifies as Irish or falls under the other white ethnic category. The growing Muslim presence in Ireland is also reflected in the establishment of religious infrastructure. Currently, there are approximately 50 mosques and prayer centers spread across the country. Importantly, every province in Ireland has at least one mosque or prayer center. This geographic distribution of mosques and prayer centers demonstrates the widespread nature of the Muslim community across different regions of Ireland. With the rising numbers in Ireland, Muslims are becoming a vocal minority, and it is important that Irish do not crumble under pressure, just the way Germans and French did. To people like Ala Boyce, it doesn't even dawn that she may be perceived as the one who is actually dictating the terms, and not the other way around. She knows the Irish are gentle people, nice people, and that she and her allies can ram their way in. So, she casually and firmly issues orders for the subject people. When people decided to give her a taste of her own medicine, she immediately flashed the victim card. She tweeted, "With the ongoing harassment that is happening online against me shows how racism is developing in Ireland. Words taken out of context and changed. Just a reminder, Irish have faced racism through history. It looks like we had forgotten our history. I'm Irish and I know my history." Pretty convenient, right? She's a Muslim when she's in charge and an Irish when cornered.